How's it? This is Mundo from the lockdown, 200 feet below sea level in a bunker. Whew, crazy times, crazy quarantine, right? One recent thing I rediscovered was my Zendrive stomp box. It's by Hermida Audio by Lovepedal. This is going to be slightly different. I'm going to talk gear and I'm going to talk about why this is working for me now. When I first got the Zendrive, couldn't find any magic sauce in it. Wasn't happening, and I'll tell you why. The main reason I got it is I was chasing that Robben Ford tone, or even Larry Carlton. They've got a certain kind of sweet treble, but it's still singing and it's still warm and it's not spiky. I like to play more warmer sounding tones and maybe with a lot more distortion, and that's what I hear, and that's when I get that tone I'm able to do what I want. Even if I get it, it might be too harsh for me and I don't feel comfortable. So I can't always execute. So I'm always trying to chase that, like Robben Ford or Larry Carlton. They have that high, sweet singing, sustainy treble tone. I wanted that tone, and then I wanted to still be able to do my thing. So that tone, and then me being myself. Also, I wanted to use my guitar, which I take a Strat-like guitar, and this is my main guitar, to a gig where I have Strat tones plus a humbucker. I got the pedal, put it in my pedal board, and I took it to a blues gig. Couldn't make it happen. It just wasn't working. I took it to a hot club gig, my gypsy jazz band. I sometimes play electric in it. Took it to a rock gig. It did sound good. It just kind of sounded like a thin fuzz. It was weird. I made it sound like a fuzz. And I'm not going to give up on this, but I think my mistake was going through my Friedman Dirty Shirley amp. It's 40 watt amp. This is my favorite amp. It's the amp I gig with. I'll take it from anything from a clean jazzy gig to a metal gig. Boy, it's been awesome. It's the best pedal platform. And that was my problem. I would use the Zendrive into the Dirty Shirley, and it just wasn't happening. It sounded good. There was just no vance. There was no voodoo. And this Friedman is so easy to dial in, and all the effects go great through it. So I wasn't getting that sound I wanted. I take it to the gig, and as soon as I turn it on, I turn it off. Now, I was using this with two other pedals, a Juillerat Clone clone, and also by Origin Effects, a Cali 76. Three of them sound great together, but it's when I was trying to get that Robben Ford kind of tone, I was just it was just lacking. And by the way, I will tell you right now, this doesn't make you play like Robben Ford, so don't spend your money if you're going for that. I still want to do my thing, but with that kind of tone, and just if I have a session, I can go that route and take advantage of it. So I wasn't able to get that from this Zendrive, unfortunately, until lockdown came and I was reassessing it. This has been out of my pedal board for a while now. I put this through my Foppstar amp. This is a boutique 12 to 15 watt amp. It's modeled after 3 Fender vintage amps, and when I was thinking about it, Robben Ford uses a Dumble amp, right? And they call this a Dumble in a box. So my experience with the Dumble amp is nothing. I have an experience with Marshalls. I know how that feels and how they react, and with Fenders and Fender basements. None of that with the Dumble. My experience is through pedals. This pedal, this cymbal pedal, which is great. I use this a lot for like jazzier tones. Awesome. They call this a Dumble in the box. Or when I program some virtual sounds like on the Helix. That's my experience. Mine chasing that Robben Ford tone. A step back with the Friedman. This Friedman Dirty Shirley is modeled after Marshall's JTM 45 amp. It's their, I want to say their first amp, and it's got some vintage British tones. It's great. That JTM 45 was actually Marshall's answer and kind of designed after the Fender Bassman, which I'm very familiar with. So maybe that's a mistake. I'm going from the Zendrive into kind of a vintage Marshall box. So when I think of Robben Ford, I think the Dumble amps, and you have to understand, Dumble makes the amps for the player. So he made those amps for Robben. I think those Dumble amps are based off of a Fender amp. And I know Robben uses a Zendrive as well. That's why I got it. And he puts it through the clean channel of his Dumble amp. Okay? So if it's like a Fender, I go to my Foppstar. and it's worked. That's what you heard in the beginning of the video. Foppstar is a boutique amp brand. Drew Fopp is the designer and owner, and he makes some great amps. My favorite, I forgot the name of the model, but he makes a Marshall amp that's just great. Kind of a low wattage plexi. Awesome amp someday. Anyway, this Foppstar is a Lil Rae, and this head is actually 3 fenders. Deluxe, Harvard, and Princeton. And he's dialed in the tones and the wattage pretty authentically, so it's a great studio amp. I've used it on a bunch of sessions already, never with the Zendrive like you heard in the intro. By the way, I did not know what a Harvard amp was, and that's the model I used on this. I heard it's the amp that Steve Cropper used on all the Otis Redding stuff, so please correct me, people of YouTubedom. So super happy. I found the magic sauce. So this is great. I still don't know what I'll do live because I take the Friedman, but maybe I'll still keep working on that. Let me get resituated and we'll give the box a twirl. So just to reiterate, I'm chasing after that Robben Ford tone, yet I still want to be myself and be able to do my own style. And then I want to use my main axe. I use a Ponce Sybil model and a single humbucker. And so chasing that tone, I got the Zendrive that Robben Ford uses, and you can see it in his pedal board. And I'm going through a Fender amp, a vintage Fender amp that's captured so well with this boutique Foppstar head. Other than that, just going through the aux box into the computer. So without the Zendrive, nice pretty tone. No effects, just a delay giving me a fast slapback. There's a little grit in that. If I max it out, all my clean tones have some grit. Alright, just go through more pickups. Back up some. Middle pickup. A lot of treble dialed in. But like Robben uses humbuckers or maybe P90s, I'm going with my humbucker here. Gnarly cool. I got some volume. Let's put on the Zendrive. Now personally, I like a lot more gain, but that's not the tone I'm looking for, so I need something to get me to there, and this is doing it. Some great sustain, almost like a bloom like you would get from a compressor, right? So if I kept the gain up, I'm going to chase the tone that I normally do. I would back off the tone. On most of my pedals, I don't go past 12 o'clock. Still trebly, but then I would actually like this tone. There's too much bottom there. I like that, and it's always not. It's somewhat not good because there is too much bottom in there. So maybe I need to grow up as far as that tone. All right, so let's get the tone back up. It's really useful. Even less gain, maybe for some middle gain. That's great. Let me back off some gain. It's kind of the playing I do with my gypsy jazz band. That would work. Gain it out again. This voice knob, it's pretty cool. I use it as I don't know exactly what it does, but I use it to kind of find the sweet spot with your amp. So let me move it around. Kind of no sauce at all. It's kind of nice. Little honky. Zzz, at least from my speakers here. It's kind of nice with the sweet spot. The tone knob, the more I turn it up, seems to add some highs and some presence, and vice versa. Going counterclockwise, it seems to add a lot more bottom. That's just really nice. That's cool because with that kind of lick that I just played, I usually need a lot more distortion. So yeah, super versatile. I'm super happy with it. I'm sure happy with the tone that I began the video with, because that wasn't always in my arsenal unless I was playing very simply. And yeah, thank you, quarantine. Anyway, hey, if you like my videos, I'd really appreciate if you subscribe. And I never mention it, but I do also do Zoom lessons. So if you're interested in that, please contact me and we'll get that going for you. Until next time, aloha.